Hello there. Microsoft just announced a preview for specific data policy settings for connections or connectors. And in this short video I want to walk through these settings and give you a little example of how these work. Before I do, perhaps a little background information on those data policies. A data policy can be applied to a specific environment or in this case all environments. And what you can do with such a policy is basically set which connectors can be used within that environment. If you look at the environment and the policies, they're built into three categories: business, non-business and blocked. The latter is very easy to understand. Those are the connectors which cannot be used within your environment. That leaves us with the business group and the non-business group. And to be very short on this, it's relatively easy. Any connector within the same group can be used to connect to any other connector within that same group. So anything of these connectors will work within this group. So I can have approvals connected to my OneDrive for Business, for example. But because OneDrive for Business is over here in the non-business group, which for the demo purposes it is, I cannot connect it to any of those connectors within this group. So that's very important to understand. We have business, we have non-business. These work together. These might work together, but they cannot work across those groups. Another thing to understand is the default, which is over here. The default group is used by Microsoft to deploy new connectors, so please be aware of that. So over here I have my business connectors. I've got a couple just for demo purposes. I've added Twitter and Dropbox, for example. And let's see right now what the settings are for Twitter, for example. And if I go over here, I see the new preview function, which is either to is to configure the connector. These two were already part of a data policy, so that's not new. But this is the connector, which, like I said, is in preview right now. So let's open this up. And over here I have all the actions which are related to this connector. And as you can see over here, no problems whatsoever. I can do anything with this Twitter connector, and that is also that's also but that can also be seen, sorry about it, when looking at a flow. Over here I have a very easy flow. It's simply stating, well, if you go to this site, if you have a list, any new item which is created, just search for a specific tweet. This is a specific action which I included. The flow itself really doesn't make that much sense, but just for the sake of demo purposes, I can search for my specific tweet. When I find a tweet, I update the item with the specific information I found, and then I'm posting a tweet as well, taking a little text and also the ID of the list item which was just created. So if I save this this flow, no problem whatsoever. Flow is ready to go. We recommend you test it. So let's not do that right now, but instead let's go back to the connectors and let's have some fun with that. So let's configure the connector over here, and let's say I don't want to post a tweet or a retweet, and I don't want you to be able to search for tweets. So let's see what happens if I save this. I go next. I'll just add it to all my environments, and I'll update the policy. So let's go and see what happens next. Well, we're still here within the flow. Let's try to save it again, and well, you see, the flow is still ready to go. That's because it really does take some time for the DLP policy to kick in. So I'll just try it one more time, and then we'll try it. Okay, I'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll try again. Okay, well, here we are again. It took some time because, well, those policies do take some time before they kick in, but as you can see, I've tried to save the flow again, and the flow itself hasn't changed, but now I have specific actions. The post a tweet was blocked, and the search tweet was blocked as well, which makes sense because that's part of my DOP policy. Just in case you've missed it, I'll just go over here, I'll configure the actions again, and like I said, post a tweet, retweet, and search was blocked. All the other things, they're still possible. So let's see if that really is the case. So let's see if I just want to block posting a tweet. All the rest is allowed. So let's save this. Let's update the policy again. Well, and now we've got to wait for this policy to kick in. So let's wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll see what the policy does. Okay, so we're back again. Here's my tweet tweet flow. Again, over here I have the action for searching tweets, then updating the item with things I found, and then posting a tweet. And the DOP policy was adjusted. So posting a tweet is prohibited, but searching for a tweet is no problem. So let's see what the flow checker now says. Yeah, only the posting of a tweet now is the problem with this flow. So that's to show that right now the environment works. Well, at least it works for the Twitter connector, because I can now have this Twitter connector just allowing any of these actions but disallowing this action. There's more options, of course. Let's for example, over here I have Dropbox. If I go to the connector actions for these, I can set, well, creating, copying, deleting. That's not possible, but getting the file content, that's no problem at all. So it does have some rich functionality in this. And perhaps you already noticed as well that there are more options. So if I go over here, I can have the connector actions, but I also have connector endpoints, and those are basically for things like SQL Server in this case, which allows me to basically allow a specific or disallow, deny any connection to a very specific endpoint. And this is very cool, because this really does allow us to be more comprehensive with our security, just stating, well, these are the SQL servers that this connector can use, and not just any SQL server it can find, basically. So this is very nice as well. You might notice that any of the very specific Office 365 components don't allow for either blocking or configuring, which does seem like a pity, because I'm still waiting for one of the DOP policies which was promised a long time ago, and that's based on the sensitivity of the site or the team using sensitivity labels. So and I haven't found that yet right now. The other thing which isn't part of the GUI right now is tenant to tenant configuration. Basically what Microsoft states for this is that if you still want that cross-tenant inbound outbound restriction, yeah, open a support case. So it is possible to have tenant to tenant restrictions, making it even more secure to work with Power Apps and flows, or Power Automate. But yeah, in this case you still need that support case. So that's it. Well, I think very cool enhancements. They're still in preview, but yeah, do take a look at them, and well, have fun.